Hello everyone, today I wanted to give a lecture on Descartes and Descartes' method of radical doubt. So when Descartes writes the Meditations, what he's doing is he's trying to construct a theory of knowledge. He's trying to come up with a way in which we can say that we truly know something about the world and have some kind of guarantee that that knowledge would be true. So, what he does is he tries to develop a foundationalist system of knowledge. Descartes' idea is that if we can have a solid foundation, something that we can know beyond any kind of a doubt, and then we can come up with a method for adding knowledge to that foundation. If the method is solid and the foundation is solid, then the things that we add on top of that foundation will be solid as well. So what Descartes does is he tries to establish some kind of first principle, some kind of truth about the world that he can know without any doubt. And we're not talking something that he can know with 99.9% certainty. We need something that we can know without doubt, no matter what. So what Descartes does is he decides to start with his own beliefs, and he realizes very quickly that he believes a lot of things and that he can't possibly test every single belief that he has. So what he does is he says, okay, let me think of the ways in which I come to have beliefs. One way that we know things about the world is from our senses. We see things about the world. I look at the clock and I see that it says noon, or I look at the sun and the sun is shining, and so I know that the sun is out. But Descartes says we've all had experiences where our senses have deceived us. If you put a stick into the water and look at it in a certain angle, it looks like the stick is divided, like it's two sticks, when in actuality we know that it's one. If we look at the sun, our senses would just tell us the sun is a relatively small object, but we know that since the sun is so far away, it is actually much bigger than what our senses might tell us that it is. So, because we've all had experience with our senses deceiving us, we all know that while it might be unlikely, any knowledge we get directly from our senses could be falsified, could be doubted, because our senses could possibly be deceiving us. We all know that this is possible. So then Descartes says, well, what about knowledge that I think I have of what I'm doing at any given time? I know that right now I'm recording a lecture on Descartes' Meditations. I don't know that because I can see me doing it. I don't know because I can hear myself doing it. I know because I tend to have a kind of self-knowledge of what I'm doing at any time. If I'm driving a car, I know that I'm driving a car because I'm the one who's doing it. But then Descartes says, well, what about the experience of dreams? We have all had dreams where we were convinced that we were doing something. But when we woke up, we found out that we weren't. In my dream, I was convinced that I was giving a lecture on Descartes. But when I woke up, I found out that no, I was actually sleeping in my bed. So what this shows us is that any knowledge I think that I have about what I'm doing at any given time can be doubted. It doesn't mean we should always doubt it. It simply means that it's possible to doubt it because we could be dreaming. And therefore, that kind of knowledge can't serve as our basic kind of foundational belief. So then Descartes says, well, okay, what about basic conceptual truths? What about things like a square has four sides, or 2 plus 3 equals 5? But then Descartes says, even those seemingly undoubtable things, it's conceivable that there's an all-powerful evil demon or an evil genius out there who has created me and has constructed my mind in such a way that it believes that 2 plus 3 equals 5, or that it believes that a square has four sides, even when in actuality 2 plus 3 might equal 6 and a square might have 5 sides. So even though it's highly unlikely, it's not conceptually impossible to doubt even these basic conceptual truths. So at the end of his first meditation, it seems as if everything we think we know about the world can be doubted. Nothing can have the certainty of that foundational belief. But then in meditation 2, Descartes reflects back on what he did, and he says, okay, let's think of the things I doubted. I doubted what my senses told me because my senses could deceive me. But even if my senses are deceiving me, there must be someone or something there that is being deceived. I doubted my knowledge about what I'm doing at any given time because I could be dreaming. But even if I could be dreaming, there must be someone or something that is having the dream. I doubted my knowledge of basic conceptual truth because I could be deceived by an evil demon or an evil genius. But in order for that to happen, there at least has to be someone or something capable of being deceived. Finally, ask yourself, can I doubt that I exist? When I doubt my own existence, I prove that I exist because there must be someone or something doing the doubting. In order for me to doubt that I exist, I must exist as something capable of having doubts. So Descartes says, all of these things can be described as thinking. Thinking that something is true when it's not. Thinking that I'm engaged in giving a lecture on Descartes when I'm actually dreaming. Thinking that 2 plus 2 equals 4 when in actuality it equals 5. Thinking that I exist when I may be deceived about that. The idea is all of these actions, any way in which I am deceived, still requires me to be able to think. So what this proves is that no matter what, it is impossible for me to doubt that I exist as a thinking thing. In other words, we get the famous phrase from Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Now, I can't yet prove that I exist as a physical body. I can't yet prove that any of the things I think about myself are actually true, that my name is Zach, that I'm 37 years old, that I teach at Valley College, whatever. But what I can know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that I exist as something capable of having thoughts. And that, my own existence as a thinking thing, is going to be the foundation for Descartes' entire theory of knowledge and the scientific method that he is then going to develop over the course of his meditations.